Hey guys, it's Jen at the House Project, and I just wanted to kind of sum up 2025 and talk a little bit about 2026 for a minute. So, 2025, wow, what happened? It was a wild ride, but it definitely was meant to purge out the fear, I feel. It was about purging out the fear. It was about finding stability, but not in the outside world, right? Stability within. Um, or at least starting to gain our footing, because I think stability is something that is a big word that I'm hearing for 2026, but I think it was sort of about getting pushed off center on an ongoing basis in all areas of our life, and maybe having the rug pulled out from under in many ways, like I did, financially and, career wise, and all of those things, that things just kept getting pulled out from under me. And, literally, I mean, it felt like chaos coming up all the time, right? Like there was chaos. It felt like instability. It felt like just like we could things that we had held on to forever were being yanked away, and the things that we felt sure about, possibly, or just felt made us feel safe, really, that we were hanging on to so tightly, were just being pulled away. And that was really, destabilizing, and it was really challenging for the ego mind, and challenging for the body, for the nervous system. And it really confronted everything that we were taught to believe in the old paradigm, in the old fear matrix, so to speak, in the old beliefs and the ways that we were conditioned. And it was awakening, and again and again and again and again. And it was certainly, I mean, I just laugh because it felt like just rounds of, fear upon fear upon fear, but it got less and less and less, at least for me. Like, it got to the point where I was like, oh wow, like I'm worrying about these things, but everything turns out okay. Like everything works out. And the more I could lean into that and let go of that fear and just trust in that, the easier it got. Then the less my nervous system was reacting, and the less my mind was reacting, and the more I could just lean into it and trust my intuition, and trust what I was shown, and trust that things showed up, when I needed them, sometimes by the skin of my teeth when I needed them, but they showed up when I needed them. And, in sometimes some miraculous way, I mean, I've talked about that was financial stuff for me, about lack mentality and poverty mentality, but sometimes it was literally by the skin of my teeth. Like, I don't even know how I was so lucky, or was so blessed, but it was really about leaning into that faith, right? And the more that happened for me, the more I was able to lean into that and trust that even if I had a zero balance in my bank account, like everything would be okay. Like, the miracles happen. And I've, come to the place where, and I think a lot of us have, like, we are leaning into that fully. And even if, the tide has not turned yet, or is just maybe starting to turn a little bit, you really, no matter what, are still leaning fully into that. And what I'm seeing as we go into 2026 is the word stability. Stability. And that is really about what we just learned, right? It's about, like, when everything is falling down around us, not, that we don't need to go to fear, that we don't need to have those old reactions, those old nervous system reactions of chaos, and trying to figure it out, and panic, and all of the reactions that we had before. And we can actually navigate it from a peaceful place and trust. And even if it's not peaceful, just not the same reactions, right? Because I still have, I see that there are still things happening right now. I feel like we're still being triggered a little bit right now in chaotic things, just to kind of hone our stability, right? I've had things happen in the last several days, or even things that just triggered my mind, that I was being asked to, hey, calm, center, come to center, and hone that stability. And we're really being asked to do that right now in huge ways, but there's a bigger reason for it. Because as we move into 2026, most of us have encountered that in some way in our personal lives, in some area. And as we are coming into that deeper stability and that deeper inner trust and inner knowing and divine trust and faith, that, and we're really getting good at following our intuition, things are in the world are going to collapse in some way. But I do believe that those of us that are staying on that higher road, that are, not getting caught up in the fear anymore, that are not listening to the fear narrative that's being pumped out there, that we are at the same time building a new foundation, are building a new foundation. So as we hone that stability and we're able to sort of shut out the fear, or at least not react to it, that's happening, the things that are happening out there, we're not just holding, like anchoring in the collective and anchoring the collective in that grounded, light-based, energy, that stability, but we're also able to stabilize ourselves and move forward, start to build a new foundation. And light, and our light is shining for others too. Like others are seeing our light, feeling the light, and heading in that direction, heading towards their own light, heading toward, seeing the light that we are, and finding their own light. So we are just, the way showers in that respect too. We are shining our lights. We are helping others to find their light, and at the same time we are also coming together and building new foundations on this planet. So while the old earth, the old fear matrix is crumbling, the new light-based, love-based matrix is being built. And that's why we're stabilizing. We're being stabilized, outside of anything, outside of us. Like, it's not about gripping onto any of the old stuff that's falling apart. It's about letting it go and realizing you're safe and you're taken care of and you're good no matter what. No matter what, you don't have to hang on to anything. So as we stabilize in that, and we are able to really start to come to calm and peace, how we build those new foundations is realizing that we are creators, right? Like we are divine creators. We are manifesting what we believe. So as we are stabilizing and we're not reacting in fear anymore, and we're not in fear anymore, then we're fully back in our hearts, and that's creating from a whole new energy. That is the new earth energy. That is the heaven on earth energy. And so as we see that and realize that and open to that, we will really be creating from that heart-centered place and creating our soul's intention, right? Our soul's desires for this lifetime, experiences for this lifetime. And that will be happening. We will be guided on those steps to take forward and to create that. And as we do that, like I said, we're going to be building the foundation for the new earth this year. So those of us that have stabilized are going to be the builders. And then there's going to be those who are in the next wave, who are awakening, who are seeing our light, who are finding their own light and going through that whole process that we just went through, right? Of the shedding of their own stuff, and probably, experiencing the shedding of the world at the same time. So it's more important than ever that we are in that stable, centered place, heart-centered, divine place, really living as the divine in form, right? So that said, that is what I'm seeing for 2026. And I really see that, this sort of long, what I want to say, a long journey of sort of hardship that many of us have been through, that is turning, and changing and shifting, and that will shift for us in 2026, and look drastically different, as we, like I said, as we're manifesting new in a new way, from a new energy, from the heart. That's where we will find true abundance, true love, true, bliss and flow, and our life's mission, our life's work, the things that light us up, a life of joy and peace and serenity and fun and laughter and love, all of the good stuff. That's when we align with our true path in all respects. Excuse me. So that is where I feel we're taking the first steps in 2026 for those listening right now. And that's why stability is so important, and also honing your excuse me, your, your mind, your body, as things are coming up, notice it and navigate back to that calm, peaceful center. Notice it. Don't get upset about it. Don't guilt or shame yourself. Just notice it and keep navigating back to center, because it's happening. We're still being cleared of some of that, but just keep the word stability in your mind. Like, keep finding your stable center, okay, in your heart, in your heart, in your heart. Heart and soul. And that is what 2026 is all about for us, for those who are listening, for this collective. We are truly, we've gotten the ship isn't rocking anymore. We're stabilizing it, and we are moving forward, and really, moving this planet forward in big and beautiful ways. And it is time. Now that we've stabilized the ship, we can really move forward. We can really set sail, so to speak, and really create a magical life and world. I hope this resonates for you. So much love to you.